Now coming to question number 7. Amar bailed 50 kg of high quality sugar to Srijit, who owned a kirana shop, promising to give 200 at the time of taking back the bailed goods. Right. तो यानी warehouse type contract. Right. Srijit's employee, unaware of this, mixed 50 kg of sugar belonging to Amar with the sugar in shop and packed it for sale when Srijit was away. Right. So what kind of owner is this guy? He was away. Where he was? Right. This came to light only when Amar came asking for the sugar he had bailed with Srijit at the price, as the price of the specific quality of sugar had trebled. अब करो मजा. What is the remedy available to Amar? Right. So सीधी सीधी बात है. Section 155 क्या बोलता है? The bailey is not supposed to mix the goods so bailed with his own goods. So no mixing up without the consent. यहाँ कहीं भी लिखा है Amar gave the consent to mix? नहीं. Right. Srijit ओनर था, उसका एम्प्लॉई भगवान मालिक, what that employee was up to. Right. So that is his problem, Srijit's problem. And what does section 157 say? Right. If without the consent of the bailor, the bailey has goods, mix his own goods with that of the bailor, and the goods are not separable, the bailey has to pay for the entire value of the goods. Right. Pay for value of the goods. जाओ बेटा करो मजा. सो करंट मार्केट प्राइस के हिसाब से जो भी वैल्यू आएगी, राइट, दैट हैज टू बी इंडेमनिफाइड, द एंटायर वैल्यू, उसके हिसाब से आपको इंडेमनिफाई करना पड़ेगा. कितना किलो शुगर था भाई? 50 kg. 50 kg इनटू व्हाटएवर इज द करंट मार्केट प्राइस इज व्हाट अमर कैन क्लेम. राइट. ये हो गया मिक्सिंग अप वाला सेक्शन. चलिए नाउ विल गो अहेड टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 8. pretty easy ones, the concepts are known. Azhar consigned electronic goods for sale to Aziz, employed Rahim, a reputed auctioneer, to sell the goods. देखो Azhar consigned electronic goods for sale to Aziz. तो ये Azhar कौन हो गया यहाँ भाई? Azhar is our principal. Why all of a sudden the pen size is gone very weird? चलो कोई बात नहीं. Azhar consigned electronic goods for sale to Aziz. Aziz कौन है भाई? Agent. Maybe I'm pressing it too hard, so the handwriting is going fatter and fatter. Right. Employed Rahim, a reputed auctioneer, to sell the goods consigned to him through auction. Right. Employed Rahim. Right. तो ये रहीम कौन हो गया भाई? ये सबसे important है यहाँ. He is co-agent or substituted agent. Right? Is the co-agent or the substituted agent. Right. To sell the goods consigned to him through auction. Aziz authorized Rahim to receive the proceeds and transfer those proceeds once on 45 days. Right. Rahim sold goods on auction for 2 lakh, but before transferring the proceeds of the auction became insolvent. Assess the liability of Aziz according to the provisions of the Indian Contract Act. Right. तो क्या भाई सेक्शन 195 क्या बोलता है? Section 195. What does it say? See, appointment of the substituted agent. Right, over here the agent has to apply discretion as a person of ordinary prudence would do in selecting or naming the substituted agent. So यहाँ मैं क्या बोलूँगा आपको? If Aziz has taken good care in appointing or naming Rahim, appointing word correct नहीं है, in naming Rahim in the business of agency, and then if Rahim does something, game over, he is not liable, because हमने क्या पढ़ा है? There is privity of contract between the principal. कहाँ गया भाई तू? and the co-agent, right? The privity of contract and the substituted or the co-agent works directly under the principal, and he is not liable to the agent. Neither the agent, the original agent, is liable for the acts of the co-agent, right? Subject to he, Mr. Aziz should have acted in ordinary prudence. तो यहाँ लिख देता हूँ, Mr. Aziz should have acted in ordinary prudence in appointment of, and he should have applied reasonable discretion in selecting a substituted agent. So assess the liability of Aziz. Bhai, Aziz is not liable subject to he applying ordinary prudence and discretion while naming a substituted agent in the course of business of agency. तो अजीज क्या होगा? Not liable subject to the rules so stated. ठीक है, तो ये बहुत ही ईजी हो गया. सब्स्टिट्यूटेड एजेंट, अगर आपको याद हो, हमने अभी अभी इसका केस किया था, राइट. नाउ मनोज गारंटीज, तो ये हो गया हमारा क्वेश्चन नंबर 8. मनोज गारंटीज फॉर रंजन, a retail textile merchant, for an amount of rupees 1 lakh, for which Sharma the supplier may from time to time continuing guarantee supply goods on credit basis to Ranjan during the next 3 months. After 1 month, Manoj revokes the guarantee when Sharma has supplied goods on credit for 40,000, referring to the provisions of Indian Contract Act 1872. Decide whether Manoj is discharged from all the liabilities to Sharma. नहीं, right? एकदम नहीं. For any subsequent credit supply, yes, yes, yes. ठीक है, तो फाइनल आंसर क्या होगा इस लाइन का? So is whether Manoj is discharged from all the liabilities to Sharma for any subsequent credit supply? The answer is yes, right? तो ये आंसर हो जाएगा आपका yes. Subsequent, yes. What would be your answer in case Ranjan makes default in paying back Sharma for the goods already supplied, right? Manoj is liable. Manoj is liable, right? मनोज इज लायबल. ठीक है, सो ये क्या हो गया हमारा? अगर आप याद करो तो ये है हमारा सेक्शन 130, रिवोकेशन बाय नोटिस. revocation by notice है ये, right? So in case of continuing guarantee, there is revocation by notice for any previous debts and defaults. The surety is liable for any subsequent transactions, right? The surety is not liable. ये हमेशा दिमाग में रखिएगा, right? तो सब्सिक्वेंट के लिए लायबिलिटी नहीं है. यहाँ क्या पूछा है? इज मनोज डिस्चार्ज फ्रॉम ऑल द लायबिलिटीज टू शर्मा फॉर एनी सब्सिक्वेंट क्रेडिट सप्लाई डन टू रंजन. आंसर है सीधी सीधी बात, यस, ही इज नॉट लायबल आफ्टर द नोटिस सो गिवन. लेकिन बट बिफोर के लिए, अरे यार भावुक हो गया मैं भी. चलो, यहाँ बिफोर के लिए इज मनोज लायबल? द आंसर इज यस, मनोज इज लायबल. ठीक है, सो दैट सॉर्ट्स आर क्वेश्चन नंबर 9. आते हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 10 की तरफ. आरती वाइफ ऑफ नरेश, शी परचेज सम सारी वाला केस आ गया. क्रेडिट फ्रॉम मैसेज रेनबो सिल्क जयपुर. मैसेज रेनबो सिल्क जयपुर डिमांडेड अमाउंट फ्रॉम नरेश. नरेश रिफ्यूज. Rainbow Silks of Jaipur filed a suit against Naresh for the said amount. Decide in the light of provisions of the Indian Contract Act 1872. सबसे पहले, can wife be presumed as the agent of the husband? Wife cannot be presumed. ये हमने पूरा किया था, जस्ट आपको जल्दी से समरी दे देता हूँ. Wife cannot be presumed as agent of the husband, right? But over here, if wife is living together with the husband, then she can pledge the credit worthiness of her husband in order to procure necessaries. So whether sari amounts to necessaries is a question of fact. Right? कहाँ गया भाई? रेनबो सिल्क sarees ये रहा. So whether sarees amount to necessaries is a question of fact, right? So over here, one thing that needs to be examined. Second thing, आपको और भी कुछ एग्जामिन करना पड़ेगा, whether she has been provided enough necessaries directly. Second, is she provided, if not necessaries directly, is she provided with enough of money in order to procure necessaries, all that. So if that is said and done, then if sari is constituted necessary in this immediate case, then Naresh is liable to pay. Naresh is liable to pay. But the presumption can be rebutted on the grounds जो भी हमने discuss किया था तब, right? That the husband has provided enough necessaries to the wife, has provided money for procuring necessaries for the wife. Third, that he has very expressly told wife not to pledge her credit worthiness in order to purchase goods, or he has communicated same to the trader that not to provide the goods to wife on his particular credit, right? तो ये सारे points cover हो जाते हैं वहाँ. So that case is already done long back, so that we are sorted with question number 10. An agent is neither personally liable nor can he personally enforce the contract on behalf of the principal. ये भी हमने किया हुआ है, right? इसको अभी मैं एक बार देखो हमने क्या किया है. Neither personally liable, so we did personal liability. नॉर कैन ही पर्सनली एनफोर्स, इसके ऊपर हमको डिस्कशन करना बाकी है. व्हाट इज द लायबिलिटी ऑफ बेली मेकिंग अनऑथोराइज्ड यूज ऑफ गुड्स सो बेल्ड, राइट? तो इसको भी हम लोग पकड़ेंगे अलग से. सो अनऑथोराइज यूज किया तो क्या होगा, 153 154 अप्लाई हो जाएगा. दैट इज रिगार्डिंग द सेकंड क्वेश्चन. अभी हम लोग क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 सॉर्ट करेंगे, राइट? So we'll write over here regarding question number 11. Now question number 11, we would be more dealing with section 230 of Indian Contract Act, right? Which states that no contract can be enforced by or against an agent. So agent is merely a connecting link, so you cannot enforce neither the agent can enforce the contract nor it can be enforced against him. लेकिन enforce against him ये हमने पढ़ा था, when the agent is personally liable in the long list of things, when there is a foreign principal, when he enters into a contract for a person not capable of contracting, when he enters into a contract for the principal which is not in existence, blah blah blah, the list goes on and on and on that we just did now. So that is one thing you need to remember, cannot be enforced by and against. ये दोनों बातें बहुत clearly law में लिखी गई, because he is a connecting link, he is the catalyst. So neither he can sue someone nor he can be sued under the contract that he is entered for his principal, right? But we would be discussing some cases. देखो, where it can be enforced against him, the list has already been discussed. Now enforced by him के ऊपर मेरे को डिस्कस करना है. An agent can इसको क्या हो गया यार, कैन enforce the contract. So I'm doing by him wala section, against him is already done, right? So don't get confused. So an agent can enforce the contract in case of foreign principal. In case of foreign principal. So if there is a foreign principal, can agent enforce the contract? एक सीधा सीधा एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं यहाँ. Sir of India, Yash of India, let us say Lakshya of US entered into a contract. Yash is whose agent? Lakshya's agent. Lakshya's agent. Lakshya's agent. ठीक है, तो कोई confusion ना हो. Now Lakshya is the third party in this context and sir is the agent. The principal in this context. कितने agent रखने हैं भाई? So sir is the principal in this context. So sir has sold goods to Lakshya, right? Received the payment in advance, but not dispatched the goods. So sir not dispatch the goods. So sir is not dispatch the goods over here. Can the Indian agent over here enforce the contract against sir? The answer is yes. The Indian agent can enforce the contract against sir. Technically, जब आपका principal foreign हो, when your boss is foreign, obviously you don't expect your boss to take all the trouble of a legal battle in India. So the agent can play as a proxy of the foreign principal and enforce the contract, right? When second agent acts in his own name, right? When the agent acts in his own name, then obviously he is not acting as an agent in the capacity of an agent. When he tries to enter into a own transaction with the third party, he can enforce the contract. Let us say sir told Lakshya to purchase a plot. Over here Lakshya is my agent, purchase a plot, right? So he went ahead to purchase a plot from Raghavendra. Now over here he has paid an advance payment. So can he enforce the contract against the third party? Yes, because he has acted in his own name. Technically sir is nowhere in picture, right? So that is when the agent can file a suit and enforce the contract, right? When the principal is undisclosed, ये हमने बहुत डिटेल में किया था, लेकिन फिर भी बहुत बड़ा सेक्शन है वो. When the principal is undisclosed, when the principal is undisclosed, right? If the principal undisclosed का मतलब क्या होता है? One, the guy who is acting as the agent does not disclose the name of the principal. Not only that, he goes on to pretend as a principal. So that is undisclosed principal. Named, unnamed, undisclosed. So over here, what we learned, the third party can sue agent. और वहां बहुत क्लियरली लिखा है, the agent can sue third party. सब बराबर, right? So over here when the principal is undisclosed, then also देखो, rule is very very simple. Where the agent can be made personally liable, there are greater chances, not all in all cases, but there are greater chances in lot of the cases the agent can also enforce the contract. सीधी सीधी बात है. When principal is minor or person disqualified by law when person is, or principal rather, sorry, is minor, technically is nothing, or a person who is not qualified by law or does not have capacity to contract, then the agent, can he be made liable? Yes. So can he enforce? Agent can enforce the contract. So the route which can trouble me is also the route which provides me respite. अर्थात बालक, मतलब क्या होगा इसका? The route, yani places where you can file a suit on me are the places where I can also file a suit and go ahead with the contract, right? तो ये रहा हमारा बाई हिम वाला सेक्शन, राइट. अगेंस्ट हिम हमने पढ़ा ही है. ये सारे के सारे आते हैं. फॉरेन प्रिंसिपल का केस आता है, एक्ट्स इन हिज ओन नेम आता है, अनडिस्क्लोज्ड आता है, एंड व्हेन द प्रिंसिपल इज वन हु कैन नॉट एंटर इनटू अ वैलिड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. तो ऑन ऑल दीज प्लेसेस and more in the list, the agent can be sued and he also can sue and enforce the contract. That is one part of our answer regarding agency. So against him वो हमने पहले डिस्कस किया था. By him we have discussed. Now he can enforce it under certain circumstances, not many circumstances. Part 2 of the question, what does it say? बेलर के पास क्या क्या राइट है इफ देयर इज अनऑथराइज्ड यूज ऑफ गुड्स. अनऑथराइज्ड यूज भाई क्या क्या राइट्स है बेलर के पास? राइट्स की बात हो रही है यहाँ, राइट. सो 153 क्या बोलता है? राइट टू रेप्यूडिएट the contract. You remember I gave my car to Mr. Sunil to drive it to Mangalore. He drove it to Visakhapatnam. So can I cancel the contract, the bailment contract on that ground? The answer is yes, if there is unauthorized use. More than that, section 154 also provides for one thing. The bailor can claim damages, right, for any loss to the goods, for any loss caused to the goods due to such unauthorized use. ठीक है, अगर कार को कोई डैमेज हो गया, then can I claim it from Mr. Sunil? The answer is yes. So that concludes our question number 11. कहाँ चला गया भाई question number 11? Right. That concludes our question number 11 over here. Right. So the agent is neither personally liable nor can personally enforce the contract on behalf of the principal, but at times he can be made personally liable. The list already previously discussed, and can personally enforce the contract. The list now discussed. Second thing, what is the liability of bailee making unauthorized? What is the liability of a bailee making unauthorized use of the goods? So I suppose I have discussed the rights of the bailor. The liability of the bailee, ठीक, उसका वही होगा. Section applicability will remain the same, right? So what is the liability of the bailee? और मैंने rights of the bailor लिखा दिया. अरे राम, लेकिन आंसर तो सेम है, because the rights of bailor rights of bailer are nothing but liability of bailee, right? So yeah, right, who has the right? The bailer is the right to cancel the repudiate the contract, so it can be cancelled as against the bailee, right? It can be cancelled as against the bailee. The bailer can claim damages, so the bailee is bound to compensate. तो मैं भावुक हो गया लेकिन आंसर फिर भी करेक्ट आया, right? So because the rights of the bailee are nothing but the liability, the rights of the bailer are nothing but the liability of the bailee. So in case of unauthorized goods, the bailer can cancel the contract and the bailee cannot do anything about it because he has done unauthorized use of the goods, right? And second thing, in case of any damage caused to such goods due to unauthorized use, the bailee is bound to compensate the bailer, and the bailer has the right to sue and the bailee is bound to compensate, right? So that now precisely clears our question number 11. What is the liability of bailee making unauthorized use of the goods? One, the contract can get repudiated. Second, the bailer can file suit for damages for unauthorized use.